Getting into, learning, and becoming better at fighting games seems like a daunting task to many beginners. But why? Fighting games are absolutely not any harder to get the grasp of than any other game, like shooters, racing games, or MOBAs. So what makes people believe they are? I'd wager a bet that you were born between 1990 and the year 2000, and started getting into gaming around 2000 to 2005. You've gone into anything and everything, and especially the FPS boom. You probably played most Gran Turismos or Forzas, and even if you haven't played those, you still played Mario Kart at some point. However, you never went to an arcade, and thus one thing you didn't get into were fighting games. You started gaming in the fighting game dark ages. Don't get me wrong, great fighting games still came out in this period, but they are mostly really focused on the old arcade crowd and barely drew in new players. That started to change with Street Fighter IV being aimed at a new generation of gamers, and this change has continued up to today. So, having little to no experience with fighting games, how do you start learning them? Where do you start learning them? First of all, it is important to know what is important to know. People who drive in Formula 1 often started in go-kart driving. So if you're new to fighting games, it might seem overwhelming to get behind the wheel of one of these things. Yes, combos are important. And yes, making them optimal is, well, optimal. But you should pace yourself. You will get there, but this isn't the starting position. Picking up a guitar and wanting to immediately shred through the fire and flames will only make you feel disappointed. So why not take it slow and steady? As a teacher, it is my job not only to teach what my students don't know yet, but to make sure that I properly pace it. If I start explaining stuff that they need to know some point in the future, but that is way too difficult for my students to grasp at the current moment, because they may not have any pre-existing knowledge that they can link it with, not only will they not be able to learn it well, or even at all, they will most likely get frustrated. However, conversely, if I keep teaching stuff at the exact level they are at, they won't learn anything at all, and will likely get bored. There is this golden middle ground, where the new knowledge is approachable enough, or might link with pre-existing knowledge, that we as teachers strive to work in. The zone of proximal knowledge. For fighting games, there is an abundance of great information and knowledge to be found on YouTube, Discord, wherever really, but for complete new players it is often impossible to pass it all, and even know where to start. A player trying to learn elaborate combos before even being able to do the moves individually will most likely find themselves getting stuck and frustrated, while other new players might start with more simple concepts but skip others, leading to a gameplay full of holes. Like a player that can use certain gimmicks really well, but never learn to properly anti-air and the likes. So where do you start? I'm working on a concise yet comprehensive checklist for new players to use towards learning fighting games, so they can see what they already know, what they still need to add, and when they might need to add it. I was inspired by CeeLo's absolutely fantastic Rookie to Diamond series. If you haven't watched that yet, it's excellent, well worth watching, and I've linked it in the description. With my own experience and some help from Reddit, I've been able to make a start to this checklist. This video serves as a semi-introduction to said checklist, and in the next days/weeks, I'll be uploading concise and hopefully helpful guides on how to set out learning fighting games in general, with more specific examples or example videos mixed in. I'll be linking to other videos and written guides when necessary, but most importantly, I'll be taking it slow and steady to make sure it's easy to follow, understand, and apply before moving on. The first few videos in this How to Learn series will be taking a look at what your opponent wants to do and how you can set out to stop them from achieving this. In most fighting games, you will want to start with learning how to deal with your opponent's options before getting too deep onto your own. At lower levels, you'll be paired up against players who will usually run a real risky game plan, with relatively high rewards, but also a lot of risk attached. So before making and working on your own, let's learn how to counter their game plans. If this seems like an interesting idea to you, please hang around and subscribe to be notified when new videos in this series will come out. If you were already subscribed for more of my analytical or mindset style videos, first of all, thank you. Thank you for making my channel reach over 100 subs. It means a lot to me. but don't worry, there will be more videos like the ones I did before coming soon enough. So thank you all for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.